This man is after the Hitler diaries. The one thing he'll need is a great deal of cash.
I've offered him 2 million marks.
Jeez!
But it's small change if you're after the publishing sensation of the century.
My friends, this is riveting. But is it true?
It is true.
We have a great future together. To Connie and Gert.
Gert and Connie.
Selling Hitler, next Tuesday at 9 on ITV.
Through the ages, the faithful hound has delivered the news. Never, rarely distracted, ever loyal to his master.
Pop it in the basket, son, I'll read it later.
Through hell and high water. Yes, it's been a dog's life. But today, the latest news, sport and travel can be delivered at the touch of a button with Oracle.
The ultimate newspaper!
Quick look ahead now to Friday's night time, which begins at 20 to 12 with The Young Riders. Married with Children follows. Then the outrageous James Whale will be insulting more viewers in the James Whale radio show. That's at 1:05. Rock videos feature in Raw Power. And then the US movie scene in Cinema Attractions at 3:05. With beach volleyball, soap and Superboy. Their Friday nighttime programmes on ITV. Back to Thursday night time now, and it's time for all those comedians to stand up.
Come to talk to you tonight about isms. Not ordinary isms like cannibalism and communism and sexism. Oh no, weird isms like George Chisholm. Or spiritualism. Whoa. People think spiritualism is dead good. People think spiritualism is dead good because you can get in touch with all these people that have been dead for years, like Jeffrey Archer and Edwina Curry and stuff like that. More eggs? Mind you, spiritualism is quite a cheap hobby to have. All you need for a seance is an empty glass and some bits of paper with the letters of the alphabet written on them. And some extra bits of paper as well. One with yes written on it, one with no written on it, and one with everyone in this room is going to die written on it. Well, that's what the spirits always say, isn't it? Saves you spelling it out. Everyone in this room is going to die. Oh, that's a surprise!
I discovered one of the bum things about doing impressions recently. When I had a cold, and I was trying to do Robert De Niro, and I thought, no problem, it'll just sound like Robert De Niro with a cold. But it didn't. It sounded like Melvin Bragg, so it's like... How did you screw my wife? Tonight on the South Bank show, we'll be asking the question, did you screw my wife? I don't know if you know this about Robert De Niro, but he's actually a method actor. He does all this behind-the-scenes research for all his roles, like... in Raging Bull, he actually moved in with the boxer Jake LaMotta for a year. Now, I myself am a method impressionist, and for my own Robert De Niro impersonation, I actually moved in to his Los Angeles apartment, and there observed such characteristic De Niroisms as his habit of waking up in the morning and saying, "What the frig are you? Get out of my bed." So what I want to do? So what I want to do? Talking to me? Talking to me? So what I want to do? I'm a mama look. I don't do. I don't dum.
I was an only child. Still am. I never played with anybody when I was little. Not even myself. I was so lonely, I invented 6 imaginary brothers and sisters. Hated them. My parents had been married 20 years before they had me. They used to have a cocker spaniel. Took them a while to adjust. They used to try and tie my ears together when they fed me. Happy days, though. Crawling through the forest with a branch in my mouth. Of course, having me late meant my mother could pursue her career longer as a pub cleaner. Every day she used to take me to work with her. Every day I shared my pushchair with a bright red plastic bucket and a mop. For a while I thought I was a twin.
Speaking of dogs, when I was at school I once had a tin of dog food for a bet. I lost the bet. I'd bet that I wouldn't eat it.
I took Rover over to the park the other day. I met another bloke with another dog on the way. His dog was an Alsatian. My dog was not. He said, "Is that dog an Alsatian?" I said, "No." And he said, "Why don't you get a proper dog?" And I said, "Rover, ignore this copper." And I pick up a stick and I hold it over Rover and say, "Rover, jump out of the clover and get stuck into the stick." And Rover jumps out of the clover and bites me in the arm. Alarm! Alarm! My dog, why hast thou mistaken me? I am not calm. My dog has done me harm. In my arm. I show him the tooth marks. See, Rover, where the skin is mauve. Rover sees these nasty marks. He barks and he begs for forgiveness. Yet I know I must break his legs. This one's called The Death of a Dog.
We move now onto the giraffe story. Someone in the audience saying, "I've got one of them." Good, good, good. So have I. The giraffe story. Now, would someone in tonight's audience like to give this giraffe a name?
Arthur. Rico.
Freddie. Stephen.
One name, please.
Arthur.
Okay, I'll take the first name I heard.
Arthur.
Percy. The giraffe story. Once upon a time, there was a little giraffe called Percy. Percy was totally unlike any other giraffe because he was 2 inches tall, wooden, and made in Korea. All the other giraffes persecuted Percy, which made him very depressed. And to make matters worse, the next day he got woodworm. But he soon got better. But then he got worse. But then he got better. But then he got worse. But then he got better. And then he just had a complete breakdown. And then he just broke. But then he got better. And remember, children, real life isn't like that.
I used to have a little dog when I was younger. He actually followed me home from school one day. I remember I checked his collar tag. It read, Patch. Phone 6479182. So I went to the house and rang the number. I said, do you have a dog called Patch? This woman said, yes, he's been missing for 2 days. I said, OK, I'll try again tomorrow.
There's one thing that bugs me about people having seances. How come they only ever get Adolf Hitler, Marilyn Monroe, or John F. Kennedy? Oh, aye, sure. I can just see Marilyn Monroe and John F. Kennedy sitting in the spirit world. Fancy a shag, Jack? No, thank you, Marilyn. I think I'll go on off and go to a seance some students are having in a bedsit in Dundee, Scotland. Highly likely. Or Adolf Hitler, eh? Reduced from almost conquering the world to making 2 appearances nightly at Doris Stokes' house. My ass! What'll I do? Shall I invade Poland? No, I'll go off and see Doris. No, you can't mock Doris now because she's dead. Best career move she ever made, I think, probably.
I read about this family. They all work in the same sausage factory. They've just won £1 million on the pools. But they're determined it's not going to change their life. Well, why did they do the pools then? If they didn't want to win anything, they should have done a Reader's Digest lucky draw. I go mad with money. Sometimes I go out and buy 10 or 12 dustbin bags and just throw them straight out with the rubbish. Don't care.
This one's called Uncle and Auntie. My auntie gives me a colouring book and crayons. I choose the picture of the puppies in a wicker basket. I begin to colour. After a while, Auntie leans over and says, "You've gone over the lines." What do you think they're there for? Aye? Some kind of statement, is it? Going to be a rebel, are we? Your auntie gives you a lovely present and you go and ruin it. I begin to cry. My uncle gives me a hanky and some blank paper. Do some doggies of your own, he says. I begin to colour. When I have done, he looks over and says they are all very good. He is lying. Only some of them are. Right, the other one. This one's called Bad Dog. This is about when my dog was bad. The dog got my glasses the other day. I thought I'd have to chuck them away. But luckily, they were all right.
When the Queen's on the telly, my mum watches her and she says, "I wouldn't swap jobs with her." Of course, we have the Queen round every night, banging on the door, screaming, "Let me in. I want to be a pub cleaner." My mother won't give in. Like my mother never told me where I came from. She kept asking me.
Well, no, we in the Labour movement as a whole, and not just Eric Heffel, we hear a lot of talk about the loony left. But what is it? I don't think it exists, the loony left, I don't. I mean, after all, if it is loony to want to stop the buying pigeon, then I'm afraid I am a loony because I think it's imperative we must, whether we have to nab him, grab him, stab him, lab him, stop that pigeon now.
This little box of Lenor refill, just how much Lenor softness does it contain? Stacks of it. What's more, you get to pocket the savings we make on the packaging. Lenor refill. So much softness, so much sense. Yakety Yak. Call 0898226622. Yakety Yak.
James, I've completely run out of headed notepaper. Perhaps we should order some.
You can order your own personalised Basildon Bond stationery free with 8 tokens from Kellogg's Fruit and Fibre.
And James, I completely run out of envelopes. And I seem to have totally lost my mother's address again.
Free personalised stationery with Kellogg's Fruit and Fibre.
Which compact powder gets your whites ultra white and squeezes a bit off the price? Daz Ultra at a price that's right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some poems about my brother-in-law, and the first one's called His Heart's in the Wrong Place, It Should Be in the Dustbin. After his favourite vegetarian meal consisting of 17 pints of lager, my brother-in-law offers me a lift home. On the way, we stop off for a drink. At the bar, I ask for 2 halves of lager. My brother-in-law says there is no such thing as a half of lager. I suggest we get a bus the rest of the way. My brother-in-law says that buses are only for scum, and that if he comes in his car, he leaves in his car. Before we leave and discover that his car has been stolen. My brother-in-law tells me how he likes to stop and ask hitchhikers where they are going, and then tell them that he will get there first.
Conceptual theatre. Dame Peggy Ashcroft. Hello. And Sir John Gielgud. Hello. In Noel Coward's brief encounter. Johnny, yes. Do you love me very, very much? Yes, I do. How much? This much. Brief encounter.
People don't chat anymore, do they? See what I mean? I think soon they'll have signs in sweet shops. Sorry, no chat given for telephones. Or as you get on a one-man bus. No chat given. Please have correct sentence ready. Or in the supermarket, they'll have an express checkout with chat, 8 words or less. I suppose people will still get in the wrong queue, get to the checkout girl and say, do you know, I've got hundreds of these carry bags at home in a drawer, but I never remembered to bring them, so I'll have to buy another one. She'll slam the till, ring the bell, wave her hand in the air. Chat, please, till 17.
This next story is called The Secret, so I can't tell it. Unless you beg. That'll do. Thank you very much. That'll do. That'll do. You're very kind. The Secret is a mystery story. You have to solve the mystery. So listen carefully for the clues. If you solve the mystery... If you solve the mystery, I hold this up. Okay? The mystery story. It was a dark fadoom rob-nub-nub. Figul spli kretong fam ragun shagi. Ratam minovsta raba rab nab sib lagoon. The butler did it. Fagul. Sabun nagu chicken kurma. Fasun milang labonra. Sorry, labinra. Rigron radums blausnig with a candlestick. Fitum l'amour, shina, sing, la, no, fida, pi, sa. The end.
The butler did it with a candlestick.
Absolutely right, the butler did it with a candlestick. The room in the house, though, for the big prize. Here's the big prize. The room in the house. Clue was in the story, sir.
Bedroom.
Not the bedroom, no. Come on down, I'm going to have to tell you. The clue was in the story. Think of the chicken korma. Think of the chicken korma. No, the chicken korma was a red herring. I'm very sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to tell you. It was the Criggle Stiggle room. Very sorry. Very sorry. Very sorry.
Boom, boom.
I say, Mr. Roy. I say, Mr. Roy. I do like your hand up my arse. I don't like people who can't answer a straightforward bloody question. People who come round your house and they come in and they sit down and you say, how are you, all right? Yeah. Do you want a drink? Yeah. What do you want, tea or coffee? I don't mind. So you go in the kitchen, put the kettle on, think, wait a minute. I've got enough trouble in my life without having to make your bloody decisions for you now. What do you want? Do you want tea or do you want coffee? Oh, bloody hell, I know this one as well. I had this one the other night, Trivial Pursuits. It's gone, though. It's not Bobby Moore, is it? No, it's gone. I'll have whatever's easiest. But I'm going to grow the bloody stuff, am I? What? What have you got in your kitchen? You got a jar of Nescafe and a box of tea bags. Don't make eighth of the bloody difference, does it? What do you want? Do you want tea or do you want coffee? I'll have whatever you're having. Good one. I'm having this red hot poker shoved up my bum.
OK, this is a Christmas poem. There came 3 wise men from the east, and so it came to pass, the wise men found the shepherds a bit working class. This one's called Christmas with the Brother-in-Law. Men over there enjoying that. In brackets, oh, what fun. The 2 clip-on earrings slipped from our Christmas cracker. You can have them, John. My brother-in-law quips. I slip into the earrings. How do I look then, handsome? I lie to him. All right, John, very sexy, take them off. He says, trying to sound normal. In his torn Christmas hat that is sat around his neck. You're not a woman, he reminds me. How do you explain these, then? I reply, ripping open my shirt and squirting my nipples at him. Shall I take these off too? Don't spoil the Christmas, John, my mother interrupts. Needs a bit of work, the ending, doesn't it?
The other thing that happens a lot, like people ask me stupid questions a lot. I got a cab home one night. I was working at this place, and I went home, and I got in a cab, and it was really late, and he drove me all the way, and I was very, very grateful. And I said, thanks a lot, mate. How much is that? And he said, how much do you usually pay? Well, I usually get a bus. Here's 30 pence. Thanks very much indeed.
But of course, beneath this showbiz bravado, I'm really a very insecure person. But I think we're all dwarfed by fear. Paranoia. Me, rubbish. Anal retention. Yeah, it's true. So here's a little joke for those of you suffering from identity crisis. Knock, knock. Who's there? And here's one for the chronically insecure. Knock, knock. Who's there? What do you want, please? Yes, as my Auntie Vi used to say, laugh and the world laughs with you. Cry and the world laughs at you. Paint your bathroom avocado green and the world says, oh, I preferred it in puce. Fall in love with a vacuum cleaner, eat a battleship for breakfast, go to your goldfish and the world says, you're a natter, Auntie Vi.
What I'm going to do is a song about my brother-in-law. Not the mother-in-law, you see. It's alternative comedy. Brother-in-law. He's as miserable as sin, but not as interesting. Cheers. He's as open as the pub is at 4:20 in the morning. He's as welcome as an open sore on your eye. Well, the other night I went around to see him for a chat. After 5 minutes he went and sat in the garage. After 10 minutes he came back in saying, here, John, are you staying the night? If that's all right, I said. Then he was gone, up to the spare bedroom to change the sheets, to put the dirty ones back on the bed. He isn't beautiful, he's horrible. He eats crisps in the cinema as a matter of principle. a lifeboat and someone had to go. And my brother-in-law was there. You wouldn't exactly need a ballot. Well, he's 12 stone in his pyjamas. And that's 12 stone overweight. He's not exactly an artist, but they should hang him in the Tate. And whatever age he dies at will be far too late. I don't like him.
I was thinking the other day, it's very strange the things parents say to you when you're a kid. I always used to hate when my grandfather came to visit us. It wasn't just because he was blind. But I'd always been told that I had his eyes. I remember... No, forgotten. I remember when my grandfather died. He actually died in his rocking chair. I was only a kid at the time. Didn't realize the whole thing would keel over by climbing on the back of it.